Aaron Rodgers is back under center. After missing last week with a fractured wrist in his non-throwing arm, Rodgers has been cleared to start Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills, Mike Tomlin told reporters Friday. The veteran QB didn't need surgery on the wrist, logged limited practice reps late in the week, and will attempt to power the Steelers through a tough matchup while wearing the sort of grit that's defined his career. Rodgers suffered the injury in Week 11 against the Cincinnati Bengals and sat out Week 12 when Mason Rudolph stepped in and nearly won a shootout. Rudolph finished the Bears game 24 of 31 for 171 yards with a touchdown and an interception. The former third-rounder owns an 8-5-1 record as a starter over his career and showed he can steady the ship when called upon. But this is Aaron Rodgers' team by design, and the club is rolling him back onto the field. Tomlin was clear about the deciding factor: safety. "We were watching his status closely," the coach said this week, and medical tests showed Rodgers could play without surgery. That matters. For a 41-year-old QB who's learning a new offense and trying to manage the wear and tear of a long career, avoiding an invasive procedure is a best-case outcome. Still, playing through a wrist fracture is not trivial. It will require careful monitoring, smart snap management, and likely a wrap or protective plate when he takes the field. On paper, Rodgers' 2025 numbers look solid. Roughly 1,900 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions through 11 games. He's had a rocky stretch. A rough outing in Los Angeles before the injury produced one of his lower passer ratings of the year. But those ups and downs are part of the veteran narrative. The Steelers traded for him on a one-year deal this offseason to provide instant upgrade and leadership, and they'll take every snap of that experience in a critical stretch of the schedule. The protection picture is a wrinkle. Left tackle Broderick Jones, who started this season in that role, is out for Sunday after suffering a neck injury in Week 12. Calvin Anderson stepped in last week and acquitted himself, yielding just 1 pressure on 13 pass blocking snaps in relief per PFF, but Jones's absence removes some of the line continuity Rodgers prefers. That makes quick releases, clean pre-snap reads, and smart play design even more essential this week. If Rodgers can't get time to climb the pocket, the Bills' pass rush will make it a long afternoon. This is also about context. Rodgers is joining a Steelers team that expects to compete now. Signing with Pittsburgh was meant to be a short window to chase wins. Playing through a fracture underscores his commitment, but it raises the stakes on situational coaching and roster support. Rudolph showed last week that the team can move forward if Rodgers needs to come out, which gives Tomlin a roster flexibility that other clubs might envy. Matchup-wise, the Bills are a physical, disciplined defense that will test Rodgers' mobility, timing, and the offense's ability to sustain drives with a patchwork line. Expect the game plan to favor quick game concepts, scheme protections, and controlled third down calls that let Rodgers be efficient while limiting exposure to heavy contact on that injured wrist. Bottom line, Aaron Rodgers will start, and that's the headline. It's a veteran's move, bold, pragmatic, and risky in equal measure. The Steelers get their intended signal caller back, but the team will need smart coaching, disciplined execution up front, and the kind of pocket protection that keeps a 41-year-old QB playing chess instead of surviving a street fight. If they can thread that needle, Pittsburgh keeps its plan intact. If not, the club has proven over the last week that it can pivot, and that could become the storyline by Sunday night.